As we step into 26, many people still feel like their homes are heavy. Not messy and not lacking space, but the kind of place you walk into where your mind doesn't get to rest right away. You still clean and you don't leave things scattered around. Yet the feeling of lightness never lasts. Something quietly keeps taking up space, making the home feel constantly already full, even though nothing looks obviously wrong. The issue usually isn't how much you clean, but the things that have been there for too long. They've become so familiar that you stop questioning them. That's why even after cleaning, the sense of relief is brief. Only when I slowed down and really looked at my living space did I understand why this line is true. Space is not something you fill. It's something you allow. This video starts with a few very familiar items, small things, but letting them go at the right time can make 2026 feel noticeably lighter, both in your home and in your mind. This tip starts with objects that feel small, harmless, and strangely hard to let go. Most travel souvenirs don't take up much space. A keychain, a postcard, a small figurine in a drawer, on their own, they seem harmless. Together, they quietly become one of the most stubborn forms of clutter. The issue isn't size, it's hesitation. We keep these items because they carry a story or the idea of one. Letting them go can feel like letting the memory fade. But if an object only appears when you're cleaning it isn't helping you remember anymore, it's just waiting for a decision. The memories you truly keep don't rely on objects in a box. They live in the photos you revisit, the places you talk about without prompting. Instead of asking, "Does this mean something?" ask, "Does this bring anything into my daily life?" If the answer is no, its role is already complete. You don't need to let go of everything. Choose one drawer, one small pile. When these items leave, you don't lose the trip, you gain breathing room. When these items leave, you don't lose the trip, you gain breathing room. And once that space opens up, it becomes easier to keep it from filling back up again. In the next video, I'll share a few quick, realistic cleaning habits that help protect that space even on busy days. Next, we're looking at the things that still live in your home, even though they no longer belong to your life now. Every home holds traces of past versions of its owner, clothes that matched an old schedule, tools for a job you no longer do, items that made sense in a different phase of life. The problem isn't that these things exist, it's that they quietly compete with who you are today. When life changes, objects don't automatically update, they stay where they are, waiting to be noticed. Because they once fit so well, we rarely question them. We assume they still belong even when they no longer match our rhythm. The discomfort shows up subtly. You open a closet and feel resistance, not because it's messy, but because what you see doesn't reflect how you actually live anymore. There's a quiet disconnect between your space and your current energy. This isn't about nostalgia, it's about alignment. Look at items that require a version of you that doesn't exist right now. Keeping them just in case doesn't make transition easier. It keeps your home slightly out of sync with your present life. Letting these items go doesn't close doors. It acknowledges where you are now. When your space reflects your current life, daily choices feel lighter, and the house stops asking you to be someone you've already grown past. This tip is about items that stay not because you chose them, but because you never decided otherwise. Old electronics are easy to ignore. They sit in drawers or cable boxes, not used, not thrown away, just quietly present. They remain because dealing with them feels complicated. You're not sure if they still work. You don't remember what they connect to. Maybe you think you'll need them someday. But items kept out of uncertainty don't stay neutral. Each one carries a small unfinished question. You may not notice it consciously, but it adds friction over time. A calmer approach isn't to test everything or research resale value. It's to look at how the item fits into your real life, if you don't reach for it. If you wouldn't know how to use it without instructions. If you haven't missed it once, its role is already over. Choose one category: chargers, headphones, or old devices. If something is broken, incompatible, or forgotten, it isn't a backup. It's weight. When these items leave, storage becomes clearer, and one more quiet decision disappears from your day. Now let's move to a space where clutter doesn't shout. It quietly slows everything down. Kitchen clutter rarely looks dramatic. It hides inside cabinets behind other things, extra utensils, containers with no clear role, tools that technically work but slow you down. The issue isn't how much you own, it's interruption. When you cook, every small pause matters. Reaching around, duplicates shifting items aside, deciding which version to use, these tiny moments add up to fatigue. Instead of organizing more, try subtracting with intention. Look for items that do the same job. You don't need multiple versions if you always reach for the same one. Keep what feels easiest on a normal day, not what seemed smart when you bought it. The tool you grab without thinking, the container that opens smoothly, the item that doesn't interrupt your flow. When duplicates leave the kitchen, doesn't just look calmer, it works better, movement becomes smoother. Cooking takes less effort mentally and physically. This category grows quietly, one good intention at a time. A gift bag from a birthday, a box you might reuse, ribbon that still looks fine, none of them feel worth discarding on their own, so they collect. The problem isn't reuse, it's accumulation. We keep far more than we'll realistically need because each item feels responsible to keep, useful, wasteful to throw away, but usefulness only matters when it matches reality. If you've been saving gift packaging for years and only use a few pieces a year, the math doesn't work. What you're really keeping isn't the items, it's the intention to be prepared. A calmer approach is to set a clear limit. One box, one shelf. When that space is full, the decision is already made. Anything extra goes. This removes guilt from the process. You're not rejecting reuse, you're respecting your space. And one more category stops quietly expanding without permission. Next tip. Some clutter stays not because it's useful, but because it feels unfinished. These are some of the hardest items to let go of, not because they matter, but because they feel unfinished. A candle burned almost to the bottom. A lotion with just a little left. A product that technically still works, but that you never reach for anymore. What keeps them around isn't usefulness, it's guilt. You don't want to waste what you paid for. You tell yourself you'll finish it someday, but every time you see it, there's a small sense of resistance. You don't enjoy using it, you don't want to touch it. And yet, it stays. This creates a quiet contradiction in your space. You're surrounded by things meant to be pleasant, but they trigger annoyance instead. They take up room not just physically, but emotionally. The truth is, forcing yourself to use something you dislike doesn't make the money worth it. It just extends the discomfort. The cost has already happened. Keeping the item doesn't recover it. A calmer approach is to notice your behavior, not your intentions. If you consistently avoid using something that's your answer, you don't need to finish it to earn permission to let it go. When these items leave, what you gain isn't emptiness. You gain relief. Your shelves stop reminding you of things you feel bad about. What remains feels intentional, not obligatory. Your home doesn't need to be a place where you punish yourself for past purchases. It can be a place that supports how you actually live now. This one shows up The moment you hesitate before leaving the house, uncomfortable shoes rarely announce themselves clearly. They sit neatly lined up, looking fine. The problem only appears when you wear them. You hesitate before putting them on. You plan your outfit around them. You tell yourself it'll be fine for a short time. And then halfway through the day, you regret it. That pattern matters. Shoes that hurt pinch or require the right moment to wear aren't neutral. They add stress before you even leave the house. And they often stay because they look good, cost money, or worked once years ago. The real question isn't whether a pair is stylish. It's whether you trust it on a normal day. If you wouldn't choose it when you're tired, busy, or in a hurry, it's not serving you. Keeping shoes like this trains you to negotiate with discomfort. You adjust your pace, you limit your movement, you endure. But clothing, especially shoes, shouldn't ask for endurance. They should support you without negotiation. Letting go of uncomfortable shoes isn't about minimalism, it's about removing daily friction. When every pair you own is wearable without hesitation, getting dressed becomes simpler. Leaving the house feels lighter. Your shoes should help you move through your life, not test how much discomfort you're willing to tolerate. Next, not everything you try is meant to stay, and that includes food. Trying new food is normal. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The problem begins when you keep food you don't enjoy out of obligation. You tell yourself you should finish it, you might use it later, you don't want to waste it. So it stays in the fridge or pantry, quietly taking up space and attention. Every time you open the door, it's there. A small reminder of a choice that didn't work out. Instead of helping you decide what to eat, it adds weight to the moment. Forcing yourself to eat something you dislike doesn't build discipline. It creates resistance. The cost has already happened. Keeping the item doesn't undo it. A lighter approach is to accept the information early. This didn't suit you. That's not failure, that's clarity. When you let go of food, you won't enjoy your fridge becomes easier to read. Meals feel simpler. Choices become calmer. Food returns to what it should be, support, not guilt. These are everyday items that slowly stop working while quietly asking more from you. Over time, bottles leak, lids don't seal properly, containers stain, warp, or hold on to smells. None of this happens all at once. So, you adapt. You tighten the lids carefully, you choose certain ones only for home, you work around their flaws without realizing how much energy it costs. Items you use every day should make things easier, not require compensation. A useful question here isn't whether something still technically works, it's whether it works smoothly. If an item annoys you every time you touch it, it's not saving anything. It's draining you. Replacing a few worn-out items with ones that function properly often reduces more clutter than keeping everything just in case. Daily use objects should feel neutral or supportive, never irritating. This tip is about things you bought with good logic, but that never found a place in your routine. Sale items feel logical. They're cheaper, available, easy to justify. You buy them thinking you'll find a use later. But many of these items don't solve a real problem. They enter your home without a role. And once there, they stay unused, not forgotten, just never chosen. Keeping them out of loyalty to the price only extends the mismatch. The discount is over. What remains is an item asking for space and attention. A calmer standard is use, not cost. If something hasn't earned a place in your routine, the deal no longer matters. Letting these items go doesn't just clear space. It sharpens your future decisions. You become more aware of what actually fits your life before money leaves your hands. After clearing objects you interact with every day, it helps to look at what quietly waits for free time that never comes. These items stay because they promise time you don't actually have. Magazines and catalogs arrive with good intentions. You skim them once and set them aside for later, a quieter moment that never really comes. As time passes, they turn into a stack of unfinished plans. Not clutter because they're messy, but because they hold an unkept promise. If you haven't picked something up within a month or two, it's unlikely to suddenly become part of your routine. Keeping it won't create the time you wish you had. A simpler approach is to be honest about how you read now, not how you hope to someday. When these stacks leave, the space feels lighter, and so does the expectation you quietly placed on yourself. Paper clutter often stays because it feels responsible. Receipts, warranties, and instruction leaflets are kept just in case, even when that case has already passed. Once something expires, the paper attached to it no longer protects you. What it does instead is blur what matters. Important documents mix with outdated ones. Searching takes longer. Decisions feel heavier. This category works best with one clear rule: if it's expired, it leaves. No rereading. No second guessing. You don't need a complex filing system to feel organized. You need fewer irrelevant papers asking for attention. When outdated papers go, what remains becomes easier to manage and one more mental load disappears. At this point, decluttering stops being about categories and starts being about decisions. This is the most important category and the hardest one to notice. These items aren't obviously useless. They aren't broken. They don't belong to the past. What defines them is the thought attached to them. I'll deal with this later. Later becomes a container for postponed decisions. And those decisions don't stay neutral. They pile up. Every time you pass these items, your brain registers an unfinished task. Not loudly, quietly, a background process running all day. That's why spaces with many later items feel heavier than they look. The problem isn't the object, it's the delay. Clutter doesn't always come from holding on too tightly. Sometimes it comes from not choosing at all. When you make the decision, keep, let go, or relocate, the item stops demanding attention. The weight lifts even if the object stays. This is why decluttering isn't about being ruthless. It's about being decisive in small moments. Each delayed decision is future work waiting for you. Each completed decision is energy returned. If you want your home to feel lighter in 2026, start noticing the items that keep asking for someday. Those are the ones shaping your daily experience the most. Looking back at these 13 items, the issue isn't that your home has too much stuff. It's that some things have been there for too long without a clear decision. When they leave, the space feels lighter, and so do your days, because you're no longer facing the same small frustrations over and over. If you're busy, coming home tired, and don't have time for deep cleaning, this approach is more realistic. You don't need to declutter the whole house. Just ask one simple question. Is this still serving my life right now? Answering that alone already saves you effort later. In the next video, I'll share very quick cleaning habits, things you can do in 5 to 10 minutes a day to keep the house from slipping back. If this video helped even a little, please like and subscribe, and let's keep making home and your head feel lighter, one small step at a time.